Aha! Okay, that should be the stream up now. Oh dear, we're going to have a feedback loop for a moment. Well. Okay, stream is up. Cool. Okay. Hello, TPK. I am so sorry to everyone for all of these technical issues. Yeah. You have been acknowledged, TPK. Thank you for your suggestion of YouTube and for saying about the YouTube dashboard thing. I was very confused. Okay, so this is Garden of Chaos number 16. This is a silly rule set tournament where every week we play a Swiss tournament typically with some twist on the rules of Fantasy Strike. In this case, it is a You Are What You Beat tournament. So it's a single battle, best of 3 tournament, where every time you win a game within one of your matches, you have to switch to your opponent's character. That's mandatory. And the other person gets to then switch as well because it's counterpick. Okay, so you also get to volunteer to use one of any number of rule sets I will post in the Discord server. I don't have a YouTube account. This is, yeah, I am sorry for me not having one, but yeah, I'll just post it in the Discord. Apologies to viewers on YouTube. Any rule set from there, if you and your opponent agree to use it, you can play with that rule set. And yeah, well, I said every week on instinct. It's so much easier to say every week, and I used to always say that. It's bi-weekly, yes. Somehow just the word week and the word tournament became synonymous in my mind. Okay, so with that, I think we should get started because we're 30 minutes late. So I will tell the people who in what order they're playing. Okay, so first we will be watching Stotab versus Emisox. And don't you like YouTube's emoji? Yeah, I just prefer not having emoticons at all for text things. I just like the text. Yeah, for once I have remembered to spectate first rather than leaving that till last, which is always a big risk. Okay, so yeah. Oh, it happened on the week you have class. Is your class bi-weekly? Oh, that's unfortunate. Sorry to hear that. Okay, so we will not be seeing any rule sets for this match. Let's see which characters we'll be seeing first from Stotab and Emisox. Tab, a relatively new player, but I'm excited to see them play. Emmy Sox, less new, still exciting. We're seeing, I believe, Stotab's Rook versus Emmy's Jaina, I think. Or is that the other way around? It's one of those ways around. It is that way round. I can't give you a cookie, TPK. I'm sorry. I don't have magical cookie granting intercontinental powers. Okay. Very strong start from Emmy. Just zoning Stotap out, who feels forced to start walking back, but had almost started to get in there. But a second Vines will get punished by Emmy. But Emmy has got caught out by an Earthquake. But the second Earthquake has whiffed. The third one has also landed, but Stotap needs to get in. Stotap at 1 HP. And I feel like TPK has something he wants me to say at that point, but I will not say it. But oh well, the 0 HP Rook is unfortunately a dead Rook. Okay, Landslide to get in is throw punishable into the corner, giving Emmy a full screen to walk back to. But will they even... Last round they didn't even need it. They managed to have enough forward pressure to never need that. Oh, just whiffed the combo and was too nervous and just escaped, and it turned out to be the right move. Okay, Stotap walking forwards more, lands the landslide. But Emmy guessing correctly on the Oki, unfortunately. If I were to give any advice here to Stotap, I would say neutral jumps are your friend. Okay, forward 8 was blocked. The Dragonheart landed. Emmy playing very consistently, very safely. Stotap just struggling to get through the barrage. It is his owner's job to create a maze of projectiles, and Emmy is good at that. A rain of fire. There isn't anything Stotap can do at that point. Vines through and hope Emmy doesn't punish the vines, really. That is the only out at that point. Okay, if Emmy is at game point, if Emmy then wins this game, they will be playing Rook. Stotap will be free to counterpick. Yeah, it's a rough matchup, but these things happen. Unfortunately, that's the nature of 1v1. Okay. Oh, TPK has been forgetting his scheduling. Oh, landslides in successfully, but unfortunately didn't manage to get into range. Now has to make it through all this, and time still passes in the Rain of Fire animation. Many a player has been caught out by that. I am such a player. Okay, Emmy is going to switch to Rook. And Stotap counterpicking with Geiger. A strong pick. Let's see how this goes. Steampunk Geiger, always a fancy one, that. Got a little rosette on a gear. Because if you don't sit your decorative things on a decorative gear, what's the point? Thunderclaps the first times fire, but lands on the second, unfortunately. But lands the Earthquake, but gets flash geared out. A very good call out. Oh, didn't throw punish the landslide, but managed to get the 2 hits needed to break the command throw. Didn't land in Emmy's Oki. Dodged the head crush. Managed a perfect round for that first round. Very impressive play there. I happen to know from personal experience that Emmy's Rook is pretty scary, so... Emmy just walking up. Oh, and the whiffed flash gear, because the neutral A when it's an anti-air does not just combo, it resets them. They are completely safe until they land, at which point they can block. And Emmy gets in, blocks a flash gear, and wins the round. Round start, Earthquake dodges the time spiral, another Earthquake. Emmy has pushed Stotap into the corner and is in, has landed the first Oki, has blocked the flash gear, landed the super Storytab at 1 HP. Any incorrect guess on Oki here will be around for Emmy. And that neutral A was what landed. If that had been blocked, it might have been a tick throw next. Who knows? But we don't get to find out. Again, the landslide into ground C when it's not throw punished, and it instead gets hit with by neutral A into C. As long as that keeps happening, you may as well go for neutral A into C. It will do more damage. And that was a jumpable command throw. Storytab could have just held jump and got out of it. Perhaps even could have landed an attack before it. Who knows? Probably not. Storytab just walking back for free. No time spells out or anything. Probably hoping to react to an earthquake. That will not work. That's terribly unsafe because they have no reason not to block that time spiral. And that will only work if they don't block it. Did you get a buy TPK? Yes, you did get a buy. When there's an odd number of players in the Swiss format, one player has to sit out of every round, so you're sitting out of the first round. Okay. Emmy wins that match with great aplomb. Okay, I didn't load the Twitch bracket properly. I mean the challenge bracket properly. Okay, so next up we have got Purple Shirt versus Dante. Sorry, my voice is getting a bit hoarse. Remember to hydrate, everyone. This is the first time I've talked this much in a while, really, because I haven't been doing tournaments since last year. I couldn't resist, sorry. It's the oldest joke, but it's years old. Oh, I need to spectate them. Purple Shirt. There we go, spectating. Cool. But yeah, so we will not be seeing any rule sets for this match either. I don't drink fizzy drinks when you're talking. I don't know if it's lemonade counts, but I know sodas are really bad. They're fine for hydration, but it's not the fizziness, it's the fact that it coats your throat. Commentating it's a learned skill. The thing itself is not that hard in its most basic form. It's just saying what you see on the screen. The tricky bit is keeping up with it. The background knowledge, and lemonade is fizzy. At least it is over here. Every single lemonade you can get over here is fizzy. But yeah, so the commentating itself is not hard. It's more the stamina for it and it's public speaking. It has all the same difficulties as public speaking. So it's just a learned skill that you need to keep your voice up for. Some of the most... But yeah, I am not talking about this fantastic Gargamel. They are at equal health. Dante and Purple Shirt, the historical matchup between religious figures and fashionable attire. Well, and Purple Shirt getting a health lead right before timeout. That is how you win the Geiger Mirror. The Geiger Mirror, of course, being entirely health lead based. Right now, Dante has the health lead. I nearly said Geiger. Of course, Geiger has the health lead. So what we're now going to have to see is Purple Shirt's attempt to rectify this. Failed attempts at that. Dante has a huge health lead, now just has to sit back and wait for timeout. Make sure Purple Shirt does not ruin this lead. It's a 45-second wait, but they're Geiger players. They know what they signed up for. Purple shirt failing to get in. And it is now 1 round apiece. Dante getting the early lead. Purple shirt choosing to play more passively for a moment in case that would cause Dante to fall into the trap. But Dante managing to avoid it. Good blocking there. A walk-up block is always tricky. I believe this will be blocked. Oh, yeah, they just walked into the tie spire, of course. So we've got a clockwork out. We've got a pause. That was Purple Shirt's clockwork. Okay, yeah, Purple Shirt is getting a huge lead from this. Never mind that. Oh, the chip did land just barely from that drop gear. I was so sure that they wouldn't be able to take advantage of the chip. I know I wouldn't have been able to, but... Well, I'm not as good a Geiger player as these two players. And unfortunately that will whiff. Possibly a 4-8 punish here. Yep. And yeah, Dante isn't getting the 2 damage needed in this time. I'm not sure if I'm willing to bet on Geiger here. It's too close to call, really. It might be Geiger, it might be anyone else. Maybe, just maybe, Lum will show up and just roll under all these gears. But yeah, of course, after this, if either of them are comfortable with a counterpick to Geiger, that player, if they win, no, if they lose, will be able to switch to that counterpick very safely. Because the winner is stuck with Geiger. Which I think they'll be quite happy with, actually, because the winner's doing quite well. They're both doing well with Geiger. Good super usage, but unfortunately, not good enough. It wasn't safe. But yeah, if you want to get into commentating, then all I can recommend is start commentating. Even if you just do it on your own, you don't actually commentate to anyone. You don't have to be talking to anyone when you commentate. You can do it on your own. Just sit back, open up an old stream of Fantasy Strike Tournament, mute the stream so you're not hearing their commentary, and just say what's happening to yourself for a while. I haven't done that because I don't put time into things, except when I do. I just don't choose what I put time into. My brain chooses for me. But yeah. That is a perfectly good way to learn to commentate. Purple Shirt is at game point here. They are at equal life lead. If this continues, Dante will win the round. You can't win on a draw. Oh, if Lumsgs could allow him to swap games with another player, that would be either amazing or terrible for him. I'd say it's mostly terrible for him. He loses all his items. Oh yeah. And it shows, TPK, you're a fantastic commentator. Okay. Dante was a huge lead, now it's less so. Has to avoid any hits here. Oh, and that comboed off a counter hit. Counter hit, drop gear, of course, comboing into forward A. You don't want to drop your hit confirms from there. Your counter hit confirms, I guess that is. Purple Shirt sticking with Geiger. Dante changing to who? Trying to keep up the mystery as though they're not character locked here. And we're back to the Geiger mirror. I believe I'm going to have to respectate. Unfortunately, the first round is forbidden knowledge. Oh, yeah, that looks like a glitched background to me. No lighting. And a glitched background. Oh, never mind. It was just a bit dark. I didn't know that got that dark. How did I not know that? I've been playing this for over a year. How did I not know that? Okay, strong start from Purple Shirt, just jumping straight in, giving up that meter for 2 damage, and then a flash gear for a 3rd. Only a health lead of 2. A health lead of 1 now. These risky flash gears, while effective to open, have been successfully punished. Good drop gear from Dante. And a flash gear to catch that jump A. Just barely. Perfectly timed flash gear. But just stray hits. Stray hits are Geiger's greatest enemy. And yeah, commentating to yourself is also good because you can choose when you stop. So as soon as your voice starts getting tired, commentate a bit longer, then stop, and that's a good way to train. Whereas right now, this is a scheduled event. I don't get to choose when to stop, except if I do, because yeah, you've always got a choice. But if I want to keep this tournament commentated, which I do, I don't get that choice, which is fine. I have taken this burden upon myself. Ooh, fancy. Dropped out of pause with a jump A into a neutral A, recognizing that they'd walked up and thus the neutral A would combo out of the jump A. Very, very good Geiger play here. Lots to learn from this. Yeah, stamina is an important thing to train in commentary. There is a lot of talking involved. It's also a great way to train that stamina. But yeah. Good use of back A to walk up, but unfortunately didn't manage to get anything out of it. And unfortunately Dante landed on the time spiral. Lost the round. Strong start from Dante. And blocked the second flash gear. Nice. And is starting to get ship it. And doesn't have to play actively here. Just has to avoid getting pushed into the corner. To avoid straight hits. But a perfect round. Okay. So. This is... until that point, it was each player dodging each other's moves. Always a fun sight to see, but strong punish from Dante. Predicting the flash gear and blocking it. So Dante has the health lead, but Purple Shirt has Clockwork set up. But so does Dante. They will not even cancel out because a time spiral had hit Purple Shirts. I think Purple Shirt landed on a time spiral there for a second piece of damage and a reset. And of course that reset leaves Purple Shirt ready for action, which is not necessarily what Geiger wants. Because you need to be fully aware of what's happening, and that's a bit too fast for you. So while they're set, yeah. Oh, that's a good point, Emmy. Yeah, you can do a full screen grab as Geiger to make it look like you're doing a time spiral. And in this particular matchup, what that will do is make them try to punish that fake time spiral, and that will be with time stop. This, of course, wasn't a fake one. And yeah. Okay, I'll make sure you're on stream next, TPK. You should be in the next round, because I believe Swiss makes sure that if someone sits out a round, they then sit in the next round. There we see another grab from Purple Shirt. Just because, why not? Makes it so they can't react as fast. If you've got a bit of free time, you don't lose gear meter for it or anything. And Geiger is not very reliant on time advantage. He is not Argagarg. Okay, trading 1 health for 2. Might be worth it sometimes. I don't think it's worth it in the Geiger mirror, because every bit of health counts. Oh, and now they're on 1 health each. Purple Shirt can't win this round without getting that last hit. Can't win from timeout. There is no way. So yeah, had to do something desperate in the 7 remaining seconds. It, unfortunately for Purple Shirt, didn't work. Dante and Purple Shirt both at game point. For Purple Shirt, that game point is a match point. Dante with health lead, but that won't last long perhaps. No, it's blocked. Dante with heavy health lead now. just has to play it safe. Failed to punish the flash gear, but didn't have to, really. Taking one straight hit there. Maybe could do with more drop gears instead of pauses. Now only has a health lead of 1. We've got Clockwork out. Purple Shirt landing on the time spiral. Dante's health lead getting very significant. Purple Shirt now has to win the round strictly. And didn't. Jumped in, got poked out. Because every single one of Geiger's moves is an anti-air. All of them are anti-airs. But Purple Shirt switching to Quince. Okay. Starting with a round start reflect, because unfortunately Quince doesn't have to go in. He can if he wants to, but he doesn't have to. And here he already has a Patriot Mirror out, you see. This is the strength of Quince, and I feel like this match is pretty difficult for Geiger, but I'm not a Geiger master. There will be things I do not understand that Geiger can do in this matchup, but I don't understand them. Oh wait, this isn't Quince. This is just a humble pauper. I'm sorry. I thought it's the face you see. It's a spitting image of Quince. But you see from the clothes, the hair, the fancy scarf. It's clearly not Quince. Also, he's wearing sandals. Quince wouldn't be seen dead in sandals. And he's wearing 2 belts, because if you're wearing belts, even if they're a sash and a piece of rope, you've got to wear as many as you possibly can. I am not describing the thing at all, because I'm entirely just describing how kind of weird this skin is, but oh well. Clockwork will beat the Mirror. Clockwork has 4 health, Mirror has 3. But unfortunately, that leaves the Clockwork with only 1 health. Quince can easily get rid of that. Yeah, Quince is a bit strong still, I feel. I don't think he's too amazing, but maybe that's because I don't play characters who suffer from him too much. Oh yeah, Quince famously hates his family. That would make sense that it's his cousin. Would never give money to his cousin. 2 truths out, but not doing anything to Dante yet. Not even a single piece of chip from it. But 3 damage, juggling with the illusory hit. But the pokes in online play, you've got to go for these pokes. And a very strong Cyclone Revolution into a flash gear. These 4-screen time spirals are hindering Dante more than helping, I feel. But despite that, Dante has got Purple Shirt down to 1 HP. Took the Mirror, failed to block it properly, and then failed to block the poke. Landing on the time spiral, of course, Mirrors just break Geiger's game plan. Which is, of course, the whole point. Jumping into that, perhaps already jumping during the cinematic, thus couldn't get away from it. That beat Flash Gear because it is ridiculously high priority, and Flash Gear loses invincibility towards the end of its active frames. Okay, so Purple Shirt has strong advantage, but might not win here. Has won here. Okay, so what Quince should do once he has a meter? Very well played from both players there. It looked a lot more one-sided than it really was. Purple Shirt being brought down to 1 health a lot of times there. Very well played from Dante. Okay, so what Quince should do once he has meter is focus on a combination of safe chip and occasional mix-ups. The threat of mix-ups is stronger than the mix-ups themselves. So the goal is to make them scared, is do enough mix-ups to make them have to be scared of it, enough of them to make them have to occasionally block the wrong way or something. But not so many you take on that risk. Okay, so it is going to be Stotab versus the Pirate King next. Okay, so then, oh yeah, definitely watch series. Watch Rogue Yoshi. Watch BTR's D-Boy if you want to see the safest Quince play. There's surprising amount of variety to how to play Quince because there's that bit of give to his game plan, which lets you choose how much you want to use pokes, how much you want to be patient, and they've got to respect all your options still. Oh, I need to make sure I spectate them. DPK that. And after this match will be Purple Shirt and Emmy. Oh, and this is only in 2 truths, of course. But before you get 2 truths, you need to land Patriot Mirror. Patriot Mirror is multiple simultaneous mix-ups at once that you can just do in series. Each time it hits, they block it. That is a chance for you to either throw them, hit them, or cross up. Or do an ambiguous cross up. And each of those is in itself a strong mix-up option. You could even do your ground C, and that will force them to block the other way on prediction. And ultimately, by the end of it, they will be letting the Patriot Mirror hit them because they're blocking the wrong option. Because they have to predict. Okay, strong start from TPK. TPK's Valerie, very good, very experienced. Val, of course, and Val is one of the characters with good opportunities to just kind of dispel Quince's mix-ups. Not dispel. Dispel's the wrong word. Handle both options at once. Like that. What TPK did was jump back and do neutral A a couple of times. That did not beat every one of Quince's options, but on average, it was better off than otherwise. Because on average, what he will typically get is either punishing the cross-up, which Slow Tap is using a lot of, or just land and then get going. Oh, and very good use of that cross-up hit there. TPK not expecting it or mistiming that Chromatic Orb. You can time the Chromatic Orb to beat it. I'm not sure on the specifics. Maybe it's a different timing to other times you want to use it, and so you have to choose. I don't play too much Valerie. I've played a few games of Valerie versus Quince, but not that many. Okay, TPK in. TPK starting the loop. The Wrecker loop. And unfortunately for Stotab, Patriot Mirror is not a reversal. It's slow and it lands behind them half the time if you're trying to use it in such a way. Great jump out of that yellow there, recognizing the situation and evading rather than risking the mix-up. Unfortunately, failed to hit confirm with that mirror, but strong start from Stotab. Okay, good night, Natharagon. Thanks for showing up. It's nice having you here. Okay, the Patriot Mirror on its way, but about to go. There, it's gone. Not anti-airing these air rainbows. Once Valerie is able to get away with an air rainbow, Valerie is able to get in for free. And TPK making the most of that, taking the first game, is now going to have to switch to Quince. And is apparently not too great with Quince, at least by TPK standards. And we're going to be seeing a Quince mirror. So this will be fun. The Chancellors have arrived. This, of course, is a story matchup of Quince versus one of his illusions gone rogue, which is something that has never canonically happened, but I like to pretend it happens just every week. Okay, TPK with good chip to start with, and just, well, yeah, going with all reliable, walk up and do a throw mix-up Oki. As long as you can do your basics really effectively, you'll still stand a chance. But Stotab just unleashing all the damage there. Consent of the Governed is a strong, strong air-to-air. And that was hard to follow. But Stotab won with a counter hit of, I think that was GC, because that's, as in, Dodge the Question, the thing where he splits into two and maybe crosses you up. Because that's the thing that will do that proper counter hit if it counter hits. But seeing double, of course, is unsafe if they jump out of it. One of the options you need there are back A and your jump super. Because the jump super is a really strong edge where your back A is a fantastic anti-air. But only works at certain spacings, because otherwise they'll be too far away when they jump back. TPK managing to land the neutral A to guess at which Quince it was, would have been able to block the other one, and then hit confirmed into a combo, and ended up taking the round. Okay. TPK starting off with a poke, but Stotab going for a heavy use of back A, recognising TPK has been playing fairly aggressively, so prioritising this defensive play to counteract that. But TPK managing to throw Stotab out of their pressure, and then landing a couple of combos, which is always strong. Here's a Consent of the Governed with a counter hit into a Patriot Mirror. Unfortunately, it did not combo due to spacing, but the back A comboed into it. Patriot Mirror could... Oh, and the illusory Quinces helping out as they love to do. Sometimes they'll wander off to full screen, but most of the time, they will just be beautifully helpful. Or they'll just lock them in blocks down so you can't do anything. One of the two. Strong throws from Stotab. Just going for these, not getting punished for it, it's just going to keep doing them. Throwing out of the illusory cross-up, which is something you can always do. It's like Zip. Except with Zip, you know what Valerie's doing. It's full information. You don't know what Quince is doing until it's too late to react. But on Prediction, you can throw Quince out of that cross-up. And it is so satisfying to, when you're a dragon, to transform into the dragon, see they're doing the cross-up, and throw them out of it. It's beautiful. Presumably, Argagar can do that too with Bubble Shield, though maybe less reliably because there's more recovery time. And Stotab taking the game, pushing Viparking into the corner, and anti-airing a bunch. It's a very reliable strategy with Quince. When I've played Quince, I've used it. TPK switching back to Valerie. Stotab locked to Quince. This Quince has been passed around from player to player. Okay, this will be the final game. Game one each. Last time with this matchup, TPK won. But Stotab might have learned from that. Didn't throw punish the unsafe yellow, because whiff yellow is always throw punishable if you got reset from the cyan or the magenta, which happens if it hits you as you jump out. It's very, very valuable as Lum, though unfortunately Valve seem to have stopped doing that against me. So I usually just end up messing up my throws now, which is sad. I love doing that. Both players opting to stay at full screen and just go for anything you can use to threaten them. Stotab guessing wrong and then getting caught out. That chromatic orb would actually hit both of them. But yellow into a throw got Yomi countered. Here's the Patriot Mirror. And it's mix-ups time. And the mix-ups landed. 2 damage. Could have got a third with a ground B. Which is, I forget the name, but it's the pokey move where he sometimes crosses up. Failing to block the cross-up Zip. Zip, of course, then comboing into Cyan Magenta. Very strong. Ooh. Exciting times. Next match, we will be seeing a play by feel. Okay. Stotab starting very strong, getting TPK down to 1 HP. And a Yomi counter. The most amazing of all Yomi counters. The almost full HP Yomi counter, where you risk the least. And they're just desperately going for a throw. It's always satisfying that. It's the ultimate call out of, I know you're desperate. And I am reacting properly. Cross up lands. Cross up lands. TPK wins off a couple decision points. As is Val's wont. As is Val's habit. Val loves to win off that. Sometimes the game flow is against Val's opponent. Okay, so next we will be watching Purple Shirt versus Emmy. And we will be watching a play-by-feel match, where neither player gets to look at the screen during the match. Okay, I've told them they can start. But yeah, very well played from both players. And now we get to see what they do and who they pick when they aren't going to be able to look at the screen. Oh, Geiger versus Onomaru, both very strong black characters here. Personally, I think I would favour Onomaru more. But yeah, so they won't be able to see the screen. If possible, they will be able to hear. They'll be playing off sounds alone. So this will be them making sure they can't see the screen, presumably. Okay. I'm going to respectate. Ah. There are... Generally, we aim for 10 matches each tournament spectated. And there are 10 matches total if we manage to watch all of them. So hopefully, we're watching every match. Yes. But it's entirely possible that, due to the Swiss format, it's possible that it will end early. Just because if the Swiss format, what it does is it does rounds until it decides a winner. And with this many players, that takes 3 to 5 tournament rounds. It'll always be decided to some level of quality within 3. Sometimes after 3 or after 4, there is no point to further ones to decide who is decide everyone's placement. So at that point, what it will do is just say no more rounds and we won't get to see it. But okay, 1 round each. Very good strategy of just put out hitboxes and try not to get hit by the other person's hitboxes. Drop gear, a strong option if you're not at full screen. Okay, just going for lots of time spells here. That's definitely the right decision when there's all these robots out. I would do the same in Emmy's position. Purple Shirt handling the Psychoid Revolution perfectly, but not able to time getting through this. Oh, and there's a bit of lag. I hope they're not facing that too, because that's always painful in play-by-field. It breaks all the timings, and timing is all you've got. And they won't even be able to tell the lag's happening. Okay. Initial advantage for Emmy this round. Emmy is in, but now Purple Shirt has taken initiative. It is their turn. Emmy has got the Cycloid Revolution out with a Time Spiral out. But Purple Shirt remembered to block it. Very good general awareness there from Purple Shirt. Still trying to get through these Time Spirals of sound and memory of how it moves alone. I think it's the best way to show off, and so he should do it as much as he likes. Personally. A good parry. A very, very good block there. Started blocking just before it would land. Blocked that one. Landed on one, unfortunately, because Emmy had moved forwards, breaking the setup Purple Shirt had. And so Purple Shirt thought he was closer than he was. Very subtle but powerful strategy there to dispel Purple Shirt's advantage of being really, really good at figuring out where Time Spirals are. Still trying to get through them on sound alone. Oh, a sword bunt to get in. Emmy going for a few pokes, recognizing that Purple Shirt is very close. Cycloid Revolution is out. What will Purple Shirt do? Back off to full screen and start dodging the Time Spirals, perhaps. Nope. Willing to take the chip. Recognized that Emmy had a counterplay last time, and Emmy takes the round from one last attempt to get through a Time Spiral off sound alone. Wonderful showing off, but unfortunately never succeeded. So Emmy has to switch to Onimaru. And Purple Shirt has switched to Rook. Now this will be interesting. I'd say Purple Shirt has the necessary skills of figuring out where he and his opponent are and what's going on to be able to play this very well, potentially. But I would not say that with any confidence. Vines to start, but now at the wrong way round. Purple Shirt thought for a moment that everything was the other way around. Emmy not able to react to landslide in time, but Purple Shirt not able to take advantage of it. Purple Shirt didn't know he was in from that landslide. And Emmy didn't know to block the landslide. Earthquake start. Okay, Spirit Slice. Going to be very strong here. They don't know whether you're threatening them or not. So either you force them to block it, or you don't, and both are fine. And very good hits from Emmy, perhaps not recognizing they were both in the corner together. Might have wanted to get away with if they knew, but it worked out. In guard break territory, Emmy might recognize it. Oh, but guard break is over. But landed the hit anyway. Purple Shirt, while very good at tracking Time Spirals, less good at tracking the robots. Vines to get in, but didn't move forwards. Perhaps didn't know which way was forwards after last time where that went wrong. Okay. The superior attack, or the Helm Breaker, I believe it's called. Very strong in general against Rook. Very, very strong against Rook, who can't punish it very easily. And can't see you telegraphing it. And lands the Windmill Crusher is in. Knew exactly where Emmy was for a moment. And that information was enough. Recognized the cross-up. And yeah, acted accordingly. Very good strategy from Emmy, very good awareness from Purple Shirt throughout. Superior attack, very strong. Got to get the Clockwork Charge out. Those Balbass Alphas are very valuable. Particularly if Purple Shirt continues not being able to respond correctly to them. Is forced to block. And Guard Break. That would have been Guard Break in any variant of the game where Purple Shirt has access to his moves. Where Maru has access to his moves. But yeah, very strong play from both players there. Always wonderful to see a play-by-field match. Oh, I forgot to say the previous winners in the previous match in Challenge. Oh, Challenge keeps forcing me to refresh for some reason. Okay. I believe that was 2-1. And that was 2-0. Okay, next. Will be Emmy versus Dante. Oh, who has a different name in Discord, I don't even remember. I will respectate Emmy. Okay, but yeah, that was a lot of excellent play there. That awareness of, particularly the time spirals, the awareness of the time spirals from Purple Shirt. If not for the attempts to get through them very sneakily, that would have been. I don't think a single time spiral would have landed apart from the occasional time where you can't help but land on one. That would have been better than I usually do in matches where I can see. Okay. Oh, it was excellent, Purple Shirt. While you did keep trying to press B to get through the time spirals, apart from that, you seemed fully aware of where they were. You were jumping over them. You were punishing them. It was beautiful. Oh yeah, you were close. I'm guessing you could tell you were close because they hit you very, very immediately. Okay, Emmy playing Rook because Rook was the last character they beat, and they are playing this tournament in the full spirit of things. Dante playing Jaina. A tough matchup for Rook. Emmy, I believe, was on the other side of this just earlier today. Okay, very, very, very strong zoning play from Dante there. And the head crush lost to the forward A. That was unexpected. The head crush there is explicitly to beat the forward A. Yeah, that was why I thought she kept trying Purple Shirt. It would have been so cool. I would have been gobsmacked. A word I do not use lightly, because I don't think I've ever used it before today. Landslide to sneak under an arrow there. The two moves Rook has that can low profile perfectly placed arrow are Landslide and his neutral A kick. The head crush beat the forward A this time. Not sure what happened last time. Maybe just did the height wrong. Used it the wrong height. Rain of Fire. Rook's only out after a Rain of Fire is just due to his sheer size. Divines through and hope not to get punished. As far as I'm aware, at least. Okay. Emmy, I'm sorry to say, Emmy, but you getting hit by predictive jump bees, air arrows, is you getting a taste of your own medicine. That, yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't take a side, but in that particular instance, It is satisfying to see that happen because Emmy hits me with those all the time. Even no matter how often I jump, they will catch every jump I do. And it is painful. And it is really impressive. And yeah. Emmy getting in, but now has to get in again. But the forward A will work, of course. While the difficulty with Rook when now 1 HP is you still need to get all the way in before you do any damage, forward A is a much more reasonable option. Because normally it's a poke for one that doesn't get you in, so you'd rather walk forwards. But when they're 1 HP, it wins the round. And it's a strong mix of Emmy getting right in, and yeah. Throw punishing the air arrow. Dante delaying it somewhat in the attempt to confuse them, but it didn't work. Landing the jump A, but not being able to get in off that. Okay. Getting another one blocked, and Emmy has landed the forward A, both hits of it. They are now both at game point. Emmy playing very patiently here. Blocking that arrow could have also neutralized under it. Maybe he didn't want to take that risk. Maybe he hasn't practiced the timing. Who knows? People have all sorts of reasons for their decisions. And maybe it wasn't a decision. The earthquake will land before Jaina landed, but Emmy managed to dodge all those arrows very impressively. It's always wonderful when things come together like that. And cleanly took the last game. Figured out the matchup very well there. Emmy now switching to Jaina. Dante switching to Geiger perhaps. But thinking it through, do they want to play Geiger versus Emmy's Jaina? I don't know if they do yet. Apparently they do. Oh, they do. They're indecisive. That's the information we've got here. They are considering Geiger, but they're indecisive. And they have decided on Geiger. Okay. Early flash gear whiffed, but didn't get strictly punished, but did give Emmy that initiative they needed. That was a good Dragonheart. Push Dante right into the corner, let Emmy start ship thrasher, and until Guy gets super, not much to be done about that. But Dante got super, but never got the chance to make use of it, unfortunately. Got caught out of the air with a wonderful juggle. Dante getting in to start with. An unusual Geiger play, particularly with Super Meter, but it started off working. It then didn't continue working, unfortunately, for Dante. But Emmy is still at 2 HP, only mild health lead. And very good reaction super here. Managed to avoid the arrow and combo out of the flash gear from the super due to it being in the corner. Always knows to do that combo if you flash gear them at max height into the corner. That juggle is valuable. Every health point counts. If you win by a health point, you won because of a decision earlier that gave you one extra health lead. And again, the reaction super juggling into the time spiral that was already there. Beautiful. Very, very good play from Geiger here. From Dante in particular. Because, yeah, it's Dante more than it's Geiger. But not blocking the Dragonheart for some reason. Possibly in the middle of a move. And an unsafe flash gear. Not a strict punish. Gets blocked. Gets punished for 2. Amy is now a roundup. But it's early yet. and anything can happen. Very, very, very nice combo game there, and pressure game just in general. Managing to take the initiative from that anti-air reset and use it to great effectiveness. I mean, now at game and match point. Tried to do a reaction Red Dragon, but it didn't work. But you've got to appreciate the attempt, because you've got to. It's an attempt to do an anti-air Red Dragon early in the round. How can you not appreciate that? Okay, walk up, tick throw off the arc arrow. Very, very nice thing to go for there, and just lands the 4-day into an arrow. 2 hits, wins the game, wins the match. That was, oh god, that was what, 2-1? I can probably check. Do you get to do that? You don't. Oh. Was it 2-1? I'm sorry, Yomi Counter Linky. We had fun matches yesterday, but I'm doing a tournament right now. Dante says 2-0. Okay, next is Purple Shirt versus TPK. Okay, will we be seeing any rule sets for this? Apparently not. Okay. So, Purple Shirt versus Thy Pirate King. I'm expecting Valerie from Thy Pirate King. Because I expect that he is most confident playing Valerie, and of course the first win matters more than a potential win after a loss. And probably pretty confident fighting Valerie, because once you know Valerie well, you know what to look out for weaknesses, because you're avoiding those at all costs in your own play. How many people are having fun? I'm really happy to hear that. I'm having fun commentating it too. I missed this during the midwinter break. That was just due to, generally I try to avoid having these on days where there will be lots of people who would otherwise be available, not available, because it just feels like I'm failing people whenever I set it up, and of course when there's obviously not going to be people there because it's Christmas Eve or it's New Year's Day or something. Which were the 2 other candidates for a day before now. Obviously no one's going to attend a tournament on those... Oh, not no one. Lots of people aren't going to attend a tournament on those days. At which point, yeah. Don't want to get people's hopes up. Plus, I would not trust my internet on those days. Just checking, yep, good. I had to mute my microphone. I just thought I should double check I haven't left it muted. I've seen that happen enough times to not want to let that happen to myself. Oh, I am spectating the wrong person. That was why I was waiting so long. That's embarrassing. Okay, well, we wait for the next round, and I apologise profusely for missing out on their almost certainly wonderful game I was excited to see. I wonder who they'll be playing. I will say that after the end of the last match of this tournament, I will be giving out the... Oh, here we go. Round 4. Okay, we've missed the first 3 rounds. I will leave it for later. It's just I'm going to say the things we were doing at the end, which are the usual things of give out the skill coin prizes and stuff like that. Okay, like Pirate King, 2 rounds to Purple Shirt's 1. Purple Shirt was advantaged until just now in the round, and the Pirate King taking it. Anti-airing very effectively for Valerie. Punishes the poke for 3 damage into a cross-up that does not get blocked, leaving Purple Shirt at 2 health, and while the Pirate King is at round and therefore game point. Or is at game point, rather. Cyclone Revolution is out. TPK walks into it, but Purple Shirt fails to combo, and Chromatic Orb bringing Purple Shirt to 1 HP. And there's the last hit. The Pirate King next switching to Geiger, and Purple Shirt picking whoever they want. Quince. Or rather, Quince's cousin. That was weird. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, look, it's clearly not Quince. It's Quince's very similar looking cousin with different hair and much, well, I guess getting clothes that look like that is actually more expensive than getting other clothes. Because you need to very specifically target that look. So maybe Quince's cousin isn't actually that poor, but just chooses to dress in the fashion of a humble pauper, as the costume is named, I believe. Nearly dodged the mirror, but didn't work. Purple Shirt getting 1 hit off the anti-air, but not managing to combo out of it, because it was an anti-air into a reset, unfortunately. But then getting another hit later. Because, of course, if you're cornered by Quince, Quince is probably getting some damage. And if not, Quince can go for a chip setup if you're on 1 HP, so the difficulty is in getting out. Okay, Cyclone Revolution, as we saw earlier, will destroy the mirror, but now TPK has to try to stop any mirrors coming out to any further mirrors coming out to destroy the last remaining health of the Cycloid, which is basically impossible if Quince focuses on it, which Quince should. Okay. Mirror on the way. Flash Gear will not beat the mirror. It brings Geiger too far forwards. TPK taking big risks by jumping repeatedly there. And Purple Shirt recognizing and capitalizing on it. Okay. That was a good bit of option coverage. What's happening? Both of them taunting each other, I believe. I don't think that's a decent, because after that we saw a relatively normal play. Yeah, this looks like a normal play to me. I don't think we're decent. I think they were just throwing at full screen. Oh, the flash gear, but the second one didn't. And won the Oki. It'll happen. With flash gear got punished into a pause that did not get punished. Oh, and that was not spaced to combo into neutral A and wasn't a counter hit, so I don't believe it could have comboed into forward A. And there you see Quince's 3 damage combo. Earlier we saw back A into back A for 2 damage, but back A into B into back A is 3. This is happening again. TPK going, okay, I don't believe there is anything I can do to benefit at full screen. I'm going to wait for Purple Shirt to come in. Okay. Will we see Pirate King attempt to save the Cycloid? Oh. No, we will not. And there's a punish for 1 damage. TPK playing the long game here. Half a minute's gone by and only 1 hit has come through. Two Truths is active now though. Will TPK keep playing patiently or will he take risks like he has in the past? There was a risk. There's another one, but it worked out. Now has health advantage of 2 HP. Has to block that Time Spiral. Is in chip range and has taken 3 damage, completely neutering all of that health advantage that he had. Leading to a draw, which is, in fact, not a draw. Did manage to do 1 last hit, but even a draw would have been good enough for timeout. You can't win off a timeout, so only TPK would have won a round there. Okay, this is a good position for TPK. Oh! I think a Time Spiral, or I had blocked the mirror, or Geiger had blocked it. So the Cycloid had 1 more health. Destroying the mirror and drop gearing very effectively. And tying the number of rounds. Both of them at game point now. Very exciting comeback from TPK. Figuring out how to play this match very patiently. And Purple Shirt not punishing this so far. Concerned the Governed used low, beats it, but also used high. I didn't know if that would win, but it did. Guy, across Quince and De Grey can just punish Time Spiral on reaction like that, and it is hard for Geiger to deal with, but they need to leave themselves open to react to that, so it's kind of telegraphed and a bit awkward and hard to do consistently. Okay, TPK has advantage. The Purple Shirt at 1 health. 2 Truths is active, but that will not stay active for long. And TPK takes it. TP takes it. What a game that was. Okay. I need to refresh challenge again. I don't know why I keep having to refresh it. Such great adaptation at the end there. Okay. Next is going to be Emmy versus Thy Pirate King. And then after that, Dante versus Stotab. Oh, I need to make sure I spectate them. Yeah, apparently those throws at full screen... those throws at full screen were entirely just TPK going, yeah, I don't have anything I can do here. Let's mash throw. Okay, we will be seeing no rule sets this match. Emmy will be starting off with Geiger, I believe. And here we go. Geiger versus TPK's Valerie. Although he's thinking. Ah, typing in chat, okay. Yeah, I think that is the right strategy. You can't do anything to Quince at full screen because you're only, apart from pokes, and your pokes are very risky. So Quince has to be more aggressive against you once you start doing that. Still just going to wait for super because no reason not to, but... yeah, I get that feeling, Purple Shirt. Rust is always frustrating, but of course, it's not just your skill that rusts away. It also bad habits rust away. So there are things you will have been annoyed at yourself for in the past that will not be problems now. I think I might need to respectate. In fact, I'll just say you can start. Just in case this is them not knowing they can start. This is not them not knowing they can start. I will respectate. Ah. Yeah, we missed the first round, unfortunately. Oh well, it happens. It's an online tournament. We've had, apart from the whole Twitch thing that cost us half an hour, this has been relatively smooth. We haven't had that many spectator issues. Oh, round 3 missed the first 2 rounds. Oh. Okay, so TPK doing very well to start with. Only having to zone him out. He is playing a classic anti-zoning character. But a great anti-air flash gear from Emmy. Another one that unfortunately clashed because flash gear is like that. For all its advantages, flash gear is a reversal. You can't move after walking forwards, so you have to know the spacing perfectly. You can't micro walk first, like you can with, say, Jaina's. And it's one that will often trade where other reversals would just strictly win. Okay. And he gets the throw. But unfortunately, does not block that. TPK opting to just respect Emmy's options there and not take a risk. And Emmy just going for the draw, which I think was the right decision. I would have done the same in that position. While TPK benefits more from the draw, it's Valerie's job to go in. If Geiger tries to go in, Geiger's not going to win that. So if you attempt to take anything better than the draw, you are risking losing everything. And not even getting your own round win. Okay, they are now at equal health. TPK has been pushed out. Unfortunately, Emmy did not react in time to the zip to be able to take advantage of that extra bit of space and force TPK to block the Cycloid. And TPK just walks up, uses the Oki opportunity, and wins the round and the game. Emmy was figuring it out, but TPK had the edge there. TPK now has to play Geiger, and Emmy switching to De Grey. Sorry for the croaky voice there. So, Geiger versus De Grey, or De Grey versus Geiger, depending on whose perspective you take here. An interesting matchup. Ghost negates lots of Time Spiral's uses. And De Grey can do that. De Grey's neutral jump A is a very strong air-to-air. Thy Pirate King expecting the Ghost into air kick ship setup from Emmy there. But not expecting just the jump straight in and attack. Something that you always need to be wary of, because De Grey might just do that at any time. So if De Grey is threatening that, you don't get to Time Spiral. And by threatening, I just mean is able to do that and has demonstrated that they're willing to do that ever, or has not counter-demonstrated it at least. Final Arbiter to escape the corner. Didn't hit, unfortunately, but getting out is worth it. But a couple of stray hits and a flash gear will do the trick. With flash gear, always painful. De Grey can get a 2-hit punish. Of course, every time De Grey has to delay slightly, otherwise it will count as an anti-air because Geiger ends it in the air. And you don't want an anti-air because then they'll reset. You'll only get one hit of damage. Lots of these flash gears whiffing, but lots of them hitting too. So I'm not sure whether TPK should keep up with them, but I feel like the whiffs are greater than the hits. Okay, Emmy at game point. We'll have to take back that Geiger if they win. Which is looking like they might. But the call-out flash gear to beat the chip setup again. But Emmy just neutral A-lot. It's the Grey way. Not much they can do about that beyond block it and throw or flash gear it. And Geiger has a poor throw range, so I believe all he has is flash gear. We are back to the original matchup, but how much has Emmy learned from last time? Okay, a strong start here. Has taken a hit, unfortunately, but has pushed TPK all the way to the corner. And is just pressuring and pressuring and pressuring. Can block this and punish. And then anti-air with the drop gear. Drop gear, an extremely strong move. Extremely safe pressure. Absurdly strong in the corner. Especially against Valerie, who has no great mobility tools that would beat. Well, that would escape. Maybe Rainbow would beat it on prediction. But it's on prediction. You don't want to be relying on prediction too much. The Chromatic Orb will beat the throw attempt. It's a very fast move. Even if it's slow enough for it to be kind of a pain in many other ways, it will still beat that. Throw does have a relatively long recovery though, if you whiff. And the flash gear to call out a yellow to take the chip. But there was no yellow. There was a backstep. The chip was not attempted. And the yellow was not beaten. Okay, Clockwork here. Will TPK get Rainbow through the thing? Yes, he did. And is now blocking this. And managed to dodge the chip. And get a hit and some chip of his own. Took the chip in the end. Blocked the flash gear. And Emmy, though safe while blocking, let go of block too early, unfortunately. And your hitboxes change when you're blocking. You've got a slightly smaller hitbox, which makes you stronger because you don't have to take chip. When in some situations where you would normally be hit, but means you have to rely on your own timing to know when to actually do other things. 2 time spells is enough to destroy a rainbow disc. It's only a 2 HP projectile. 1 damage each. TPK in chip range. Okay, TPK down to 3 health. But catching a neutral A from Emmy. Who blocked correctly on that yellow. Good decision, but unfortunately tried to flash gear the pokes and it didn't work. Okay, TPK at match point now. And TPK has indeed managed to, didn't manage to dodge the chip because starting on 1 chip, didn't recognise that. I mean, successfully blocking and punishing the Chromatic Orb. In fact, had no reason not to, because that was totally reactable due to the cinematic. It was just a failed attempt to punish. Or a call out, perhaps. Flash gear will beat the rainbow. Unfortunately for Emmy, TPK recovered in time to block that time spiral and the poke just whiffed. Very good flash gear there. Waited till the perfect time. If you do it too early, they'll cross up while you do it and you'll just totally whiff. And just keeps catching TPK out of his approaches. Keeps flash gearing him. If you're wondering why I keep pausing in my commentary, unfortunately I have acquired the hiccups. That most dreaded of things. No damage from either of them yet. I spoke too soon. TPK with severe health advantage, but out at zoning range now. Enemy has the Cycle of Revolution out. Will they be able to capitalize on it this time? Looks like that is a no. Oh, but the drop gear will work. But TPK will slip through with a zip and combo out of it. Very, very close game, that one. Need to refresh challenge once again, because it's just weird today. Okay, next we'll be seeing Dante versus Stotab. Okay, where is Dante? There is Dante. I'm sorry, but I can't right now. I've told them in the Discord. Okay, so we're seeing Quince versus DeGray. I don't know which way around yet, but we'll see in a moment. It's Dante, so I expect Dante's playing DeGray. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to respectate. I think absolute top level, that matchup is actually Geiger favoured. I'm not sure though. It's certainly favoured towards one of them, but I remember someone saying Geiger. I am not currently a main of either character, so... Oh, and my Fantasy Strike game has perhaps died. I don't know what's happening here, but I will restart my game because I can't escape this. Actually, I can hear... No, I can't hear anything. I could hear something for a moment. I thought I might have menu controls there. But yeah, it's certainly a very interesting matchup. I remember from my time playing both characters. Where are they? Yeah, I mean, Shobs does have a bit of an advantage in terms of being one of the best anti-zoning Valeries there is. Easily. I mean, easily one of the best Valeries there is, but particularly the skill of anti-zoning play. And... Aha! It is no longer cursed. But it is from fast forward. Okay, so Dante has 1-2. It is indeed Dante's DeGray, like I guessed. Versus Stotab's Quince. Dante up 2, Stotab... Dante up 3, Stotab 1. I feel like this matchup is mildly DeGray favoured. But that's just my opinion. And of course that doesn't matter at most levels of play. At most levels of play, it is player versus player, not character versus character. Okay, Dante playing it safe and catching one of Stotab's poke attempts and has taken the game. We'll be switching to Quince. Because while De Grey can do that, if Quince has super, Quince can just jump super on reaction. De Grey can't do anything about it. There are specific circumstances, which I do not yet fully know, where De Grey's air super can beat Quince's air super on reaction. But most of the time that won't work. And also you need to not be in the middle of a move. I don't think you get to play against Dante next. It's not round robin, it's Swiss. Oh, whoops, I clicked the wrong button. I have lost... Oh, no, I haven't lost... Oh, YouTube, unlike Twitch, actually retains chat history when you refresh the page. Yeah, I think De Grey's Ghost and Parry and the existence of the air super just as a threat in general is enough to give it some De Grey favour. Plus, De Grey is one of the best characters at handling the giant mirror. But yeah, now we will see Stotab's Midori versus Dante's Quince. Stotab feeling like Midori is the counterpick to this Quince. I am personally not comfortable with Midori against Quince still. I really struggle with it. My brain can't handle the dynamics. It looks like there's a bit of lag going on the screen here. I assume it's just relatively high ping plus one than playing on a weaker system, and thus that combined with Quince means more rollbacks, I assume. I'm sorry, it's not up to me whether I get you a cookie. I do not have the superpower of cross-continental cookies. It is not something I'm capable of. Okay, got the consent of the governed out. Managed to punish that for one. Could have been worse. Stotab managed to jump out of that poke attempt. Didn't manage to punish the whiffed swirly sky thing, whatever that's called, that Quince does. I don't know Quince's move names, I'm sorry. Oh, and going for the... a jump A there would have been incredibly strong. But unfortunately, went for the jump B. Jump B won't beat anything there. Quince won't jump, and if Quince does jump, then Quince's moves are all really high priority, and on the wrong side of you. Won't be a counter hit, so it could be worse. What will happen? Just took the hit, okay. It wasn't a counter hit, so it wasn't going for a throw. It wasn't armoured, so it wasn't going for ground C. What was that for going for then? I don't know. But consent of the governed will get the last hit. Evidently struggling to keep up with all the clones. Dragon form runs out. Blocks that the first time, but not the second. I believe needs to learn the answers that Midori has to the mix-up there, because of course every character has very specific mix-up or answers to Quince's B. Dante at game point. Yeah, I think it's neutral A, maybe delay throw if you're feeling brave, or just block. Or, yeah. I think maybe, I don't remember. I don't know things. Oh. Online session has ended. I guess we were somehow behind a bit. Weird. Yeah, they had ping fluctuation, which would probably mean we were just... Whenever it paused for a moment, that was it just giving us a bit of a buffer, I guess. Okay, so that was 2-0. Yeah, a good attempt to learn that matchup knowledge that was missing there. Unfortunately, Quince has weird matchup knowledge. I need to refresh challenge. Well, yeah, Sirizi has ridiculously strong reactions, and and has such a strong model of the game in his head, just in general, of what's happening at any given time. That, yeah, he would have a much easier time against Quince than most players would. Oh, I need to spectate properly. Purple shirt. Okay, so yeah, Emmy has gone because it's very late over there. It is midnight now. They did say they didn't want to play past midnight, and they didn't have any games past midnight. Beyond, well, they didn't have any games past 10 past midnight. So yay, things turned out well there. Because unfortunately, yeah, this is a relatively late tournament for many European players. It's timed the same as TPK's, but yeah. The people who would miss TPK's tournaments will also generally miss mine just due to that timing. Because this is the perfect timing for me to run a tournament, unfortunately. So also, if I ran this earlier, TPK couldn't show up, so I think it's fair. Okay. So we're seeing Stotab's Oni versus Purple Shirt Setsuki. Okay. And Stotab, with a couple big hits and a great call out there, will take the first round. It's getting caught out by these divide and conquers, but got past the parry. Didn't hit confirm off the forward A, but landed the ninja port, and unfortunately for Stotab, Onimo has to respect the ninja port's mix-up. One of the few characters who does. Well, that 2 damage is 40% of Setsuki's health there. Whiffed the end of the combo, but still managed to get that last hit from our Starlight Tumbler. A risk, but it worked out. Purple Shirt dropping hit confirms though. Stotab with good throw game has got Setsuki in chip range, in guard break territory, but unfortunately that is punishable by super, and the guard break is gone. That will not work. Purple Shirt getting behind, and there is nothing Stotab could do. The Helm Breaker only hits once it lands, so Purple Shirt was out of that range by that point, unfortunately for Stotab. And waking up into a ninja port, a strange strategy, but it worked. So now Purple Shirt will be switching to Onimaru. And Stotab to Grave. Okay, that first Tactical Slice will whiff, but the second one will hit and then counter hit. You do not want to be counter hit by Spirit Fire. That is why. It's a 4 damage combo. That's 2/3 of any given player's health. And if you've just been hit by the thing that leads into Spirit Fire, that's all your health. This plain zoning hasn't been working so far, but Sotab's still going for it. Still getting hit out of it. You need more than zoning against Onimaru. At the very least, he's wind. And, yeah. That's what will happen if you don't hold back Onimaru with anything but fireballs, unfortunately. While Onimaru does struggle slightly with zoning, his counter-zoning play is still very strong. It's difficult, but high damage. Fresh challenge. Okay, finally it will be the Pirate King versus Dante. And I'll just put the last match into challenge. This is the final match of the day. We have hit the allotted 10 games. We got lucky and the Swiss format did not deny us any rounds. So that's fun. TPK has fun with that. Okay, and here we go. Okay. TPK immediately demonstrating that he will do Siren Magenta into Rainbow. Hasn't demonstrated yellow yet, but you need to demonstrate that as Valerie. If you make it look like you're just going to use one every time, then what you get is Degrey punishing it every time, because while if you're mixing between them, he can't do anything about it. If you're not, he can just punish freely, because if he knows what you're doing, he has a move to counteract it. It's just really way too risky if he doesn't know what you're doing. But very good round from Dante there. High health lead to start into a parry on Wake Up. Recognizing the zip and reacting. Oof. Strong pressure from TPK, just getting all the hits in. Ooh. Good use of neutral jump A from Dante. A very, very strong air to wear, of course. But it does not combo into truth. The Ghost caught TPK out of yellow. That was unexpected. Dante Cody just trying to desperately dodge chip. This will not work. It may feel ridiculously fast, but it's slower than moves are. Many, many anti-options, particularly the easier anti-options like Chromatic Orb, will beat it. If Lum gets lucky enough to have used it, ooh, very good parries from Dante here today. Sorry, just typing in the Discord. There we go. Okay, and TBK's textbook Valerie game pressure there. And by textbook, I mean flawlessly executed. With, you got your Siren Magentas into a Rainbow, into a neutral A to counter hit them out of whatever they do, because anything but throw will lose to that neutral A. And throw's a risk because they can Yomi. And then do that into a yellow because they're Degrade, they can't do much about the yellow. I'm sure you can figure out how to play De Grey. He's fairly intuitive. And I'm pretty sure you've played enough Geiger to know how De Grey makes Geiger sad. Though, Dante's a strong player. And he knows De Grey. Oh, the whiff flash gear though will get throw punished. Better than going for a neutral A punish, because with neutral A you have to time it perfectly on your own. With throw you've got a lot more give. Dante not going for that extra bit of damage there. The 1-2 kicks work very well against Geiger. Time Spiral comes out fairly low, so you just kick him in the face. So there are particular places you don't want to Time Spiral as a result. Just to make sure you're open to punish it rather than be kicked in the face. And Dante has recognized this. TBK has not, well maybe has now, but had not until previously recognized that Dante had adapted to this. Dante dropping that bit of chip. Unfortunately, the cooldown saved TBK a bit of health. Okay. And there goes the round to Dante. Very strong play there. Good time spirals, keeping TPK out, not leaving any obvious openings. TPK using the tried and true De Grey strategy of just wait and let them make the first move. Walk up into throw. De Grey Oki. Throw is very key. Does not recognise that in order to land the jump A Oki, you need to walk backwards first. You've got time to walk backwards, but you need to do it. If you don't, it'll whiff. They can actually throw you out of that whiff. But Dante didn't recognise that. Okay. Dante just waiting a moment, trying to let TBK make the first move. Will TBK jump super this? No. Didn't want to take the risk. I believe maybe correctly. Not sure. Will we see a parry if TPK keeps doing it? Oh, very nice truth punch there. Anti-air truth punch is difficult but so satisfying to land. And TBK said he didn't know how to play De Grey. Okay, sorry for being a bit quiet for a moment there. Okay, so. Some strong play from TPK, not taking much damage, getting lots of damage. And the counter hit Truth Punch. Can't juggle out of it, unfortunately. But still a very worthwhile trade. And the forward A is a strong, strong poke. Gets just far enough for half the ghost just to get you one hit of damage from that. Great adaptation on both sides, but particularly from TPK, figuring out the matchup pretty quickly. Fresh challenge. And, okay. Our winner this, I nearly said week, like I always do instinctively. This tournament, this fortnight. Our winner this fortnight is thy Pirate King, going undefeated. Which is always very impressive. Particularly in a tournament format like this where you don't have any security in who you're playing. Okay. Okay, so we are not done yet. Well, every match is done and people can drop out if they need to for whatever reasons. We still have to hand out the skill coin prizes and decide what the candidates for next fortnight's tournament will be. We have... Okay, so first, next tournament, we will be running one of... where's the thing? Need to find my randomizer. The Simplify format, I forgot. I closed the thing. Simplify format is where the winner's bracket is team battle with teams of size 3, such as normal team battle. The loser's bracket is team battle with teams of size 2, using a team battle tool that I made. The next candidate is your own worst enemy, which is... how do I put it? It's like this tournament, but the other way round. Every time you lose a match, you switch to your opponent's character, and your opponent switches to a random character. And finally, the third candidate is just... Why do I have that there? That doesn't make sense. Chaotic. Now, Chaotic is one we played recently, where every single tournament... Wait, no, that's not... No, that's Play Fair. Chaotic is a format where every rule set... No, not every rule set. Every match has a randomly generated rule set. I apologise for struggling to describe it there. I made it very unclear, but basically just every match, you pick a rule set at random. If you don't agree, you can on a rule set, you can re-roll to avoid people playing rule sets they don't want. Because this tournament is all in a bit of fun, after all. Okay, so skill coin prizes. We've got 2 to give out this week to make up for the fact we've not been having so many tournaments of late. So let us open our oraclerandom.org/lists. And enter all the candidates, all the people who played in this week's tournament. And then clean it up a lot, because I just copied it from Challenge, and that's really messy. Okay. So, it looks like Purple Shirt and Stotab will be winning today's skill coin prizes. Which are, I forgot to say, I forgot to update it on the website. That is embarrassing. Time to go to Challenge. A Steam code for Okami and a Steam code for Fell Seal, Arbiter's Mark. So I'll be giving those out after the tournament, as well as TPK's customary badly drawn certificate as a reward for winning. Okay. So we'll be playing another tournament. Yeah, and actually, okay, so I think it would probably be better if we weren't synced up with the same week as Toronto Top Tiers, because that way we spread out tournaments across 2 different weeks for everyone. Give as many people as possible chances. Plus, there is a specific person, I forget who, but who can't play this week or the next 2 weeks. Okay, fine, I can put a cookie on that, TBK. So, next one will be in 3 weeks. That would be on the 28th. Okay. That is the tournament done. Thank you everyone for attending. This was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed as well. And